this kind
Mine
of
would never
Yeah, I'm
work again.
like, dear God.
Well, and then my monitors are attached to the wall,
I
so.
don't know how I even turned any on. Like I was
Good,
actually turn these two people
I'm
on.
It could have
glad.
just
is
been
just
done
like
accidentally
Google
when you
Drive
were
is
very
like
first
Dropbox.
putting them into the system.
Kind of,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm
So
gonna
it's
check that,
basically,
yeah.
it's your cloud. It's
Sorry,
your
you get the
storage
corner.
space where you can access kind of everything. I think most of us are pretty familiar with Google. I mean, we use it to browse the internet. A lot of us use it for email. But Gmail and Calendar are really just two pieces of a larger suite of business tools that Google has put out. So we're going to kind of do an overview of everything today. And as I was putting this together, I realized there's a lot here. And I think we're probably going to have to do like deeper dives down the road. So this is just kind of a general overview and an opportunity to kind of familiarize yourself with everything. And then depending on your guys' needs, we can do classes weekly on some of this stuff, or I can meet with you individually, whatever works for you guys. So I just put this together recently, so I have a lot of notes I'm going to be reading while we go through this. But so as I was telling these guys, I don't know if you guys heard all of that, but most of us are familiar with Google. We've used the calendar, we've used Gmail, but there's a lot more to it. It's actually called the G Suite, and this is where all of their business tools live. There's a lot that you're not going to use that's not really going to apply to you, so we're just going to do kind of a brief overview of the stuff that they do have, and then the stuff that you guys are probably going to use more often. So there's a lot of stuff in the G Suite. There's Gmail, there's Hangouts. Hangouts is like Facebook Messenger, like video chat, Skype, Zoom meetings. It's the same thing. This is just Google's version of it. Calendar, Current, those are the things that they use for communication. The Drive is your storage. That's the infamous cloud. That's where everything is going to sit so that you can access it from anywhere. Docs, Sheets, and Slides are basically Google's version of Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. So the stuff that you're primarily going to use, I think, are the Drive, the Calendar, and of course your email address. All of our Keller Williams accounts are Gmail. So everything that Keller Williams rolls out is going to work better with Gmail first. That's one of the main reasons why I think you guys should really buy into this and get used to it, start using it, because Keller Williams is not going to change that. It is what it is, and you just kind of have to get used to it and roll with it. There's a lot of companies that, big and small, that use G Suite as their platform. So Keller Williams is just one of them. So this is your main page. I want to show you guys how you can access your G Suite. I call it the dashboard just because I think it sounds better, but your Google dashboard. So from your main page, and a lot of you actually have multiple Google accounts. So some of you don't use your KW account as your primary account. I strongly suggest that you pick one account and you route everything else to that account so that it's all in one place, because it can get a little bit difficult when you're toggling between two Google accounts. But I want to show you how you can actually do that though. So
Brittany, can I real quick? So
Yeah.
if you don't even use a Google account as your primary email, is this going to be beneficial?
I
If
think
they're all linked together.
I think it will be, just because the platform that Keller Williams uses is powered by Google. So like I said, everything that Keller Williams rolls out, it's gonna work better with Google initially. I think eventually it'll work fine with everything, but, well, I don't wanna say everything, but with the other, like Outlook and that type of stuff, but it's gonna work better with Google first. So,
You're not saying to kill all your Gmail accounts, you're just saying
No.
use Keller Williams or whatever one you want to route your real estate business to.
yes, exactly, yep. It's gonna make life a lot easier for you guys, I promise. Okay, so if you do want to toggle between accounts, up here, you'll see if you have a picture, some people have a picture, I just have the default, but you can see where you can toggle between accounts, you can add an account. You're gonna wanna pay attention to this. Make sure that you're signed into the right Google account. So if you have your laptops or your phones in front of you, take a peek at that, make sure that you're using the Google account that you're gonna be routing everything else to. So that's just something that you want to keep in mind. Now, to access your dashboard or your G Suite, there are two different ways you can do it from your desktop home screen. And they're called the 9 dots. There's not a fancy name for it. I wish there was. It's not like the hamburger menu or anything like that. But in the corners from both sides, you can access your dashboard. And it's just a page that's going to show you the apps that you use most often within Google. Now from
So how do we make sure we're running through Google? Just when you pull it up, if it says Google?
So actually, whoops, I'm going the wrong way here. So in the top corner up here,
Yeah.
you'll see what email address you're signed in as.
Are you signed in?
You may not be signed in. If you're not signed in, you can just go to like google.com or
This
gmail.com.
is your dashboard essentially. So go hit Gmail.
Yep.
Gmail.
And if you have multiple Google accounts, every Google account is going to have its own drive. It's going to have, you know, your own set of docs and sheets that are associated with it. So that's why I say pay attention to what account you're signed into, because if you're in your drive looking for something and you actually stored it or created it with your other Google account, you're not gonna be able to find it. So, and that's why I suggest routing everything to one Google account so it's all consolidated in one place.
So
Mhm.
I have a Google email address,
Mhm.
but I don't use it. Like everything that comes to my Google email
You route
address,
it out.
it goes into my Outlook.
Okay.
So I can find it in Outlook. But I have a Gmail. How
Um,
would that work?
well, you can still use the drive. You'll just have to, you know, sign into your Google and use it from there. Your calendar will still work. I know that calendars can be sent to Outlook, like you can export it into Outlook, but it
Because I
doesn't.
use my Gmail calendar.
You do,
Mhm.
okay.
Mhm.
So,
It's just that my accounts are intertwined. So
gotcha.
if someone emails my Gmail, it goes directly to my Outlook.
Outlook.
So it's forwarded.
Yeah, I think that would be fine, as long as you're comfortable, you know, not being able to, you can still access obviously your Gmail account and your email there, but you're just gonna be toggling between the two programs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so, okay, so that's how you access it from your desktop. From your cell phone, it's a little bit different because each of these programs are actually separate apps. So like Google Drive is an app.
That's why I couldn't get my
Gmail.
calendar on there. That makes sense.
Gmail is an app. Your calendar is an app. This is a screenshot of my actual phone. Like I said, I call it my dashboard. I downloaded the Google apps that I use most often. I put them all in one file and I put it where it's easily accessible from my phone. So the stuff that I use most often: Drive, Gmail, Calendar, Doc, Slides, and Sheets. They do also have a remote desktop feature, which is really cool because you can, from your cell phone, access your laptop or your desktop computer, and you can do everything you would normally do in there. So it's a pretty cool feature. I use it occasionally. And then Meet, that's actually Google Hangouts. So that's like their version of Skype or a Zoom meeting. Every time you make a calendar event, you have the option of adding the Hangouts to it. So you can automatically and for free do video conferencing calls, that kind of stuff with your clients. Or I think it was Kay had a client a couple weeks ago who was in India and they were trying to message back and forth, and so we downloaded Google Hangouts for her, and they were able to do it from there. So it's pretty cool. This is obviously just how I prefer it to be set up. You guys can set it up however you want. I just wanted to make sure that I pointed out they are separate apps that you have to download individually.
Now, calendar, no matter what account, I mean, if I'm in my personal Gmail or my business Gmail, it's gonna keep a calendar for both. No matter which one I go to, it's gonna go to the same calendar, right?
No. Because, so you can toggle between the calendars. So you can view or hide a calendar. So when you're signed in, you have one primary account, and that's the calendar that's going to pop up most often, but you can also view your other Gmail calendars as long as they're synced on the device.
But they can't be synced as, I mean, it would make sense they could be synced, so you wouldn't be looking at two different calendars. Like a personal business, kids' games and.
I think you can turn on.
You can turn them on and off, view and hide calendars. And as we go through this, I'll show you how you can do that, because I have a personal Gmail account and then I have my work Gmail account. And I know exactly what you're saying. I have a bills calendar, a meal prep calendar, an exercise calendar that never gets used. So I have a ton of calendars, and I don't always want to see those when I'm trying to, figure work stuff out. So you can hide them, you can view them as you need.
Thank you.
Okay, so I want to point out a couple different things. As far as like how things are gonna look on your Drive. So we're moving on to Google Drive now. And Drive is where everything is stored. So this is kind of your infamous, the cloud that everyone talks about losing stuff in, right? And it's true, you can lose stuff in here. When you're in Google, if you open anything in Docs, Sheets, Slides, if you open anything like a template, it's gonna automatically save it to your Drive. So you all probably have a lot of random stuff in your Drive that you're like, I didn't put this here, I don't know what this is. So there's probably gonna be, for most of you, some cleanup to do in order for your Drive to work well for you. But I would suggest just creating a folder. If you don't use your Drive regularly, I would just create a folder within your Drive, throw everything in that folder, and then title it with like today's date or something like that. And then moving forward, you have a fresh, clean, workspace, and when you guys have time and a hot cup of coffee on a Sunday morning when you want to dig in and clean that file up, you can. Or you can just delete everything if you've never used it and it's all accidental, just get rid of it and start new. But when you log in, so these are actual screenshots from my laptop and my phone, and they're both Google Drive. So when you go to, I think it's drive.google.com, this is what's initially gonna pop up. Now, you can't really get rid of these. These are the most frequently used documents, or the things that you've been editing most recently. That auto-populates. It confuses some people because they're trying to delete things from that list, but you just can't. It's gonna automatically be there. If you scroll down though, you'll see on the desktop, this is where all of your files are. This is what's gonna look messy to you guys initially. So if you're in your Drive and you see a bunch of stuff, this is where it's gonna be, but you can clean it up and actually organize it like you would any filing system. Think of it as your electronic filing cabinet, really. And then on your phone, it automatically puts it in this weird blocky favorites view, but if you click in the bottom right-hand corner, that little file will pull up the file view that you're looking at on the desktop. It makes it a lot easier to find stuff. The other thing I want to point out is the files that people share with you on the Drive. So if you're using it to collaborate with your team, if they shared a document with you, it's not going to pop up under your files. It's going to be under stuff that people have shared with you, which is the little person file on the desktop. I think it's called shared with you or shared with me. And then on the phone, it's going to be the little person at the bottom. And that's how you access any of those. You can also put those in nice, pretty folders if you want to get, really detailed about it, but you don't have to. To add something to your Google Drive is really simple. You can do it from your phone. So this would probably be something you would use for like documents that you need a client signed and you need to email them to someone, but you want to keep not a hard file, but an electronic file somewhere. What I do is I have the, I don't remember the name of the app. It's a Microsoft app where you can basically scan a page and turn it into a PDF file. So you can do that with your camera. Just take a picture of your, whatever document you're wanting to put on your drive, and then you can open your drive, click this little plus button down in the corner, and add it directly from your phone to your computer. This is really cool because if you're collaborating with your team and,
But it's gonna be PDF when you transfer to the.
it will be, yeah.
If you get the app that you have, the Microsoft app.
Yes, yes, and there are multiple apps that will do that for you. It's just a scanning app. That just happens to be the one that I think maybe my brother put it on my phone or something like that. So
But you could do a screenshot. Like if you
Yes.
have text messages and you want to use those as your material communication, you can take a screenshot of your text and upload it
yes,
right from there, from
Yep.
the screenshot to Google. Okay.
exactly, yeah. And then from your desktop, basically the same thing. It's just that little plus icon. You can create folders by using that. You can upload files. There's a lot of different stuff you can do with it, but that's where you're gonna find that. And like I said, there's 100 things you could really do with this. We're just scratching the surface, so. Okay, so moving on to calendar, I wanted to show you guys the differences between a desktop version of the Google Calendar and the mobile version. There are multiple ways you can actually view your calendar in mobile view, and I don't think I put this in the PowerPoint, but if you click the hamburger menu up here, you can actually toggle between day, week. Your schedule is literally just what you have going on that day. So there are multiple ways to look at this. You can look at a whole month overview. It's really, I use my calendar all day, every day. And honestly, I probably use it more often from my phone. So it just, it's convenient to have it in your pocket all the time. So a couple of the things I want to point out. Now, viewing and hiding your calendars. So like I said, I have about 12 million calendars. I know this is kind of difficult to see, but if you click down under other calendars, you can add, there's a little plus sign. You can subscribe to calendars. You'll probably have to request access. So if you're collaborating with a team, you're gonna click that little plus button, type in your teammate's email address, and then it's gonna, unless their calendar is public, it's gonna ask you to request access, and then they just have to click a yes button in their email, and boom, you're subscribed to their calendar. You can view it. I actually sent everyone an email this morning giving you permission to access the training and events calendar so that you can kind of see how this works and play with it a little bit in real time. And that is the calendar that you guys are probably going to, I hope, access the most as far as the Market Center overall goes, and not just your individual teams. I think that's probably what you're going to use more often, but the training and events calendar is on there. You can access it from the newsletter, but if you subscribe to a calendar, I think you're going to discover how easy it really is to toggle between the two and how useful it is especially for a team. So
can I interrupt while you're on that, because I did accept that calendar, threw it on there, and then it had said in there something about you can hide this later if you want to or whatever.
Yep.
I hid it. How do I find it after I've hid it? Because I've gone down to the my calendars thing, and I'm not.
It should be in other calendars still,
Yep,
right?
it's in other
all
calendars.
I see under other calendars is holidays in the United States.
Giving us all hope.
Did you delete it instead of hide
I
it?
just clicked hide.
Okay, let me see. I'm gonna reach over you, I apologize.
Maybe it was delete.
I may have done that on accident, you know.
Because you
Things
should just
happen.
be able to just click the training and unclick.
I
And
don't know.
then instead of like
I think
the
you
tag
deleted
or-
it. I would go back to the email and
Okay.
resubscribe yourself to it so that it pops
And then
back
Ryan,
up
you
there.
should just be able to click on that little square where it has a check mark and
Hey,
unclick.
Tiana, I should be able to do a lot of things. And I'll tell you right now, my track record is pretty rough.
Should've, would've, could've.
And you can change the colors of your calendars. You can make them all pretty. When I create that's true. When I create a calendar,
I'll call you later, okay?
I generally will categorize things with colors. So like leadership, calendar, and anything on like Lynette's calendar or Lori's calendar, for me that's gonna be one color. Anything training related is gonna be another color. Anything, bills, those are gonna be in red. So you can really dig deep and customize this however you want. You can even, there's a lot of free calendars that you can subscribe to. The Seahawks calendar is on there. You can subscribe to the Moon Phases calendar. There's a lot out there. So just play around with it. I think you guys will be surprised at what you can actually do with it. And this is just kind of showing you how to toggle between calendars, view them, hide them, that type of thing. And then adding anything to your calendar is exactly the same as through the Drive. So it's just going to be that little plus symbol in the corner. It's in the same spot with every app that Google has, so it's really easy to access. Adding events to your calendar is really easy, and it actually, this is something that I'm gonna touch on now and we'll dig into a little bit later, but you can actually do it from command as well. So I strongly suggest getting used to using your Google Calendar. Make it your friend. I promise it will keep you organized, and it's easy to collaborate with people within it as well.
If you're using, say, the calendar that's on the iPhone already and have been using that forever, is there a way to sync that to Google Calendar?
Actually, if you just download the Google Calendar app, you won't have to, because you synced your Google Calendar to your phone's calendar app.
Okay. I'll ask you later, because I've done something incorrect.
Okay.
Because I have two
We'll
different
come back
calendars
to
going on, but they're not talking yet, so.
Okay,
Okay.
we can definitely look
Thank
into
you.
that. Okay, and this is my little sales pitch, you guys. So this is why I really want you to buy into Google Calendars. Not only is it amazing and has literally changed how I do things, I'll be completely honest with you guys. I'm very ADD. I'm not the most organized person, clinically diagnosed, by the way. I'm not the most naturally organized person, and it's taken me years to become this organized. And honestly, my calendar gets all the credit. So if it's not documented and if it's not on my calendar, it didn't actually happen in my world. But so the training and events calendar, I put everything on there. I put the Command Live trainings on there. When I first started, you really have to dig around to find where the trainings are. It can be a little bit difficult. There's a lot of different stuff that they offer. So I want to consolidate it in one place for you guys, make it easy for you to access. So the MAPS coaching, the Command Live training webinars, any trainings that we do in person here at the office, all of this is going on the training and events calendar. So I hope all of you have subscribed to it, but if you haven't, you can also access it from the newsletter. And I want to point out that when you click on this is the public view. It looks a little different than you're used to seeing, but you can sync this, and I don't know how, but I can figure it out for you guys if we need to. You can sync this to using like iCal. You can sync it to Outlook, and you can export it. And this calendar goes out for eternity. So there's events on here that literally you could scroll through to like 2013 and they're still going to be on there because they're reoccurring events. So this is something I suggest you all subscribe to, use it. It's kind of like it could be kind of like your Bible calendar as far as training and resources education wise goes. So please subscribe to it. And if you don't, you can still access it through the newsletter. So. That's my little sales pitch. Okay, so Gmail, I'm not gonna talk too much about this today. There are a couple things I really want to point out. I think, does everybody use Gmail here? Everyone's fairly familiar with it. I mean, we all send emails all day, every day, right?
Yep.
So this is just kind of the different views on desktop versus mobile. But one thing that I don't know if you guys know or not, you can actually schedule emails. So you can schedule things out for yourself. One way you could use it is birthday emails. Right now in Command, a lot of those, like the MailChimp and the campaigns, they're not quite working. So a workaround would be to use your Gmail account to schedule some of this stuff out for you guys. Another cool little life hack, if you don't want to forget your grocery list, throw it in an email and mark it to send you to yourself at 5 o'clock when you're leaving the office. There's 100 ways you could use this, honestly. Use it as a reminder because most of our email pops up on our cell phone and we all look at it. So, I mean, there's just another way that I use it is if you don't want people to know that you're working at 3 a.m. on a Saturday, then you can get your work done in your time, but schedule it out so it comes to them at a normal hour.
I would like to know how to do that.
Yeah, it's really, really easy, and I can show you really quickly, actually. So within your email, you're just going to click compose, and this is of course the same button that we use for everything else. Now down here on send, you can schedule to send it at a different time. Obviously you have to use Lori.
Nice.
Whoa, that is really simple and
Super
very
simple.
cool.
Where did you find that
I was working at 3 o'clock in the morning
at? You don't
and
have a life.
I know. My boyfriend's traveling right now, so you're not wrong there. But yeah, and I didn't want emails going out because people read them and then they're no longer unread, so they go away and, you know, no one's going to address anything that you need addressed at, 9 o'clock on a Saturday. They're going to wait until Monday. So schedule it to send on Monday when you know that they have time to address what you're needing. Uh-oh.
I'm so happy right now.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know if that's bad or good.
Even right.
Technological challenge, right?
Oh, I love that.
So
So-
that's, you can do like planning for the next day, send you an email and
Yes.
7 in the morning, you're gonna.
Yep.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yep. Yeah, it's really cool. And you can also do something similar on Facebook, scheduling out posts. So like the birthday posts for the month, those are all created at okay, they're not. They should be created, theoretically, they're created at one time, and then you schedule the posts out to do it automatically, and then you spend 2 hours of, your month doing that, and then it's set it and forget it. You don't have to worry about it after that.
On a
so.
business page only though, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so how do you collaborate within Google Docs? This was going to be really hard for me to explain to you guys because I don't have 2 computers to show you how this actually works. So I found this video on YouTube. It's about 7 minutes long, and I hope we've got volume. Wait, sorry, my bad. Tech ambassador over here.
We have volume.
Okay, and hopefully it's not too hard for you guys to see, but I am gonna share this PowerPoint with you, and it has the videos in it, so you can go back and rewatch
The
it.
power of Google Docs is that you can have multiple people collaborating on the same document at the same time and see those changes made in real time and who made those changes. So
This
let's
is
look
Google
at how
Docs, which
you
is their version of
set that
Microsoft Word,
collaboration up. So I've
basically.
got a document here I'm going to open. And right now I'm the only one who has access to it because up on the share button there's a little padlock on here that means that that's private to me. Only I can view this file. Well, I'm going to share this with a with my other account. So I'm gonna, and I want this person to be able to type on it and edit it, so I'm gonna give them edit rights. Now, what you can do as the owner of the document, you've got some options here that you can just allow these people to have editing rights. The editing rights, they have full editing rights to the document. They can also add or share the document with other people. Just keep that in mind. Can comment means that all they can do is use the comment tool to make comments on the document. They can't make any other changes. And then can view is the most restrictive, where it's a view only document and they can't comment, they can't edit, they can only view. I do want to show you advanced setting here. If I make this person the owner, or sorry, an editor, I can prevent editors from changing access, which means that anybody else in here, if they're an editor, they can change the access from edit to view only to comment. And I can also disable the options to download the document, print it, or make a copy. So you can really restrict the access to the document if you want. But I'm going to leave those open because I don't really care about that. I'm going to click send, and yes. And now, so I have two users on the document. They're both me. One's a regular Google account, and one is my school Google account. So I'm going to come over, and I've got another computer right here next to me, and I'm going to click done here. Now what you'll see is when my regular Google account opens up that document, you'll see my profile picture and my name pop up here because I'm logged into my account. So and I have a color associated with that, which is pink, and Google just randomly gives a color. So if I was to type this from my personal Gmail,
So he's actually on a different computer typing that.
And where that cursor is. And I can, since I have full editing rights, I can edit this up however I feel like editing it up. The other cool thing about this is, if you go into File and see Revision History, this will show you all the changes that were made. So today, at this time, basically I created the file. And then if I click on this change, this comes from a different user. That's why it's a different color. And that was the change that was made. And if I click on this change, then you will see the change that was made. You can always revert back to a different revision if you want to. So that's kind of nice when you're collaborating, working together on that. So as the owner also, I can come over here and I can change. So if we're in the middle of this and I don't want any more editing to happen, maybe I just want suggestions. So basically what this does is it changes it. It's now in suggestion mode. And I can make suggestions and not really edit anything, but make suggestions, which are like comments. And I can also just lock it down and just view it so that and this is on my end, because on the other end I can still do some typing on the other end, but I'm not seeing that unless I go back into edit mode. So I can, from my side, if I don't want to edit anything, but I just want to make suggestions, which are comments with some formatting to it, I can change that, but it won't happen on the other end. One other thing is with the comment feature, let me do it from my other one so you can see. So I'm going to make a comment on here. And the commenting box is right next here. Well, that's the chat. there's comment here, and there's a commenting option here that I'm going to click on, and out to the side and there the comment pops up from my other account. What I can do is people can reply to this comment. Maybe I say this needs to be changed, and if I change it, I can click resolve and it goes up into the comments. Now the comments, there's a history of comments, so I can look and see what was resolved. It was marked as resolved. I can add more comments here to it. If it wasn't fixed, I can reopen it and add a comment about why it was reopened. So the commenting tool is a pretty powerful tool as far as the collaboration piece goes. So that's just some of the basic things that you can do when collaborating on a document in Google Docs.
And it's essentially the same in Docs, in Sheets, in Slides.
And sheets are like Excel.
Yes, yep. Slides are like PowerPoint. Sheets are their version of Excel, and you can collaborate the same way with any of them. So what I mostly use it for, honestly, is meeting notes. And as we're in the meeting, I'm typing notes, and then you can come back to it and make sure that, what I do is I share access to those meeting notes. So I'll share them with whoever was in the meeting, and then any action items that need to be addressed, you can just, piggyback off of the action item and change the color, say done on this date, or 40% done, or whatever the case is. So that's how I use it. There's a million different ways that you can use it and kind of customize it to what your team actually needs. And you can also collaborate with clients this way too. So just throwing that out there.
We used this on going on a trip last year with some friends in the Midwest, and we just put down our favorite places to go, and we had our whole
Awesome.
itinerary by the time we left. It was all figured out where we're gonna
Yep.
go and who was gonna pay for what.
That's cool. That's a really good idea.
I also discovered yesterday, I'm just kind of new to using docs and stuff, and I was looking for a save button. I'm like, where's the save button? It automatically just does it for you. So
Yeah.
don't waste time looking for a save button.
That's good knowledge. I like that. And that's also why when you log in and you go to your Google Drive, you're like, I don't remember creating any of these documents. So it does take a little housekeeping. I would pop in there, maybe once a week and just make sure that it's cleaned up so that it doesn't get overwhelming. Because when you get in there and you're like, I don't know what any of this stuff is, and I haven't used it in 6 months, it just becomes kind of more of a burden. So that's why I suggest create a folder, throw everything in that folder with today's date, and then when you get a chance, you can go back and clean that folder up, but still have a nice clean workspace to use right away. Okay, so there's some cool stuff that I just discovered that I wanted to share with you guys. I know there's a lot you can do from the Kelly app, and there's a lot that is really convenient from the Kelly app. So like adding notes to a client contact card, they have a dog. That works great from the Kelly app. But you can't add stuff to your calendar from Kelly, from their contact card. So I found a workaround and wanted to show you guys. But first, you need to add command to your mobile device. Now this is different than Kelly. This is basically creating a shortcut on your home page on your phone so that you can access command without going through the Kelly app. It's just the mobile version of command, basically. So you're going to go to console.command.kw.com.
Is it this?
No.
Is this one?
Nope, it's not even an app. You're actually just going to open your Safari browser, your internet browser on your phone. And I do want to note that I tried this from the Google browser. It does not work. It works just fine through Safari though.
Safari.
Yep. So log in.
What's my password?
Oh, console.
Yeah, console.command.kw.com. And you're gonna log in, and then once, you don't even have to log in right now, just from this main page, you're gonna click the little icon at the bottom, And then from there, you're gonna come up, click on add to home screen. So just scroll down, add it to your home screen. It's gonna appear on your phone like any other app. So when you click on that,
tech savvy. Look at that.
So you-
having a lot of aha moments.
He is, I love it, I love it. So now it's gonna appear just like any other app on your phone, okay? And I'm gonna show you, and these are actual screenshots or video recordings of my phone and of my computer while I was doing this. So I apologize if I'm going fast and it's kind of hard to see, but I wanna show you how to add a calendar event from a client contact card in Command. So say you are in line at the supermarket and you run into one of your clients, you can quickly, say they want to meet with you Tuesday at 3 o'clock, you can quickly access Command from your cell phone, and then I'm going to show you. Okay, so I'll slow it down a little bit, sorry. So this is your phone. Yeah, like I said, I was apparently speeding through this. Okay, so this is the icon right here that is your app. You can't change it to anything pretty and fancy, unfortunately. It's just always gonna look like that. But that's what you're gonna click on. So you're in line at the grocery store, they wanna meet on Tuesday, you're panicking because you don't have a pen in your hand.
Where is it? Which one?
It's this one right here. And when you create the bookmark on your phone, it's probably gonna throw it to the very back. So however many pages on your phone you've gotta scroll through to find it, just drag it to the front. And you can actually see on my cell phone, this is my Google dashboard. So that's where I keep it, right there.
So this is different from what Laura talked to us about last week.
Yes,
That was a Keller Williams app.
yes.
This is a command.
I'm showing you a workaround because this does not currently work in the Kelly app. So,
And if we don't have Safari, we can't add it.
what kind of cell phone do you have?
Android.
Oh, it might work from your, whatever internet browser you use on your phone,
You have Google?
Yeah.
it might work.
Try.
The Google browser, I couldn't get it to work, but that was from an iPhone, so I would suggest trying it. And they make so many updates in Command weekly that one day it won't work, the next day it will. So if it's not working, continue to try it.
So what is the page that he needs to look into? Go on.
It's console.
.command.kw.com.
Yep, you got it.
So you went to contact tasks, is that what you?
So within that, you're gonna open the app, okay, and that's what it's gonna look like. And then you're gonna search for the contact who wants to meet you on Tuesday. So you're gonna click up here. And this is just like the desktop version of Command, and I'll show you it on mobile, and then I'm gonna show you it on desktop as well. You're gonna click up in the red square, and that's gonna pull down a drop-down menu, and from there, you're gonna select contacts, which is the second one down here. And that's gonna take you to all of your contacts that you have, hopefully, already imported in Command. From there, you're gonna search for the contact that you're looking for. So Carlotta, ran into her at the grocery store. So I'm searching for her. So I'm gonna click on her name. It pulls up her contact card within the app. Then you're gonna click on this plus button. And then the first one is add to calendar. That's gonna pull up your calendar and it's going to add them as, you know, an invitee to the event. So pick your time. You can add your Hangouts. If you want to do a Skype meeting, you can attach documents and you can attach them directly from your Drive. It's really easy to do that because Drive and Google Calendar speaks very well together. So yeah, you can do that. Click send, and then it automatically is going to add it to your calendar, and it's going to send them a calendar invite as well.
So if you have their email address in their contact card, it will automatically send it to them, put it on their calendar. And then does it log something in Command? Like
It
that
does.
Oh my goodness.
So it's
Yes.
not an
Wow.
app,
No.
so you just have to go to console. Dot.
It's a
Yeah,
mobile
but you
version of
just
the
made
ones
it
that
an
show
app.
up.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't see it.
That's slick.
Little
You
work.
say
I'm all
add it
about
to the
workarounds.
homepage.
I'm an extremely lazy person, I promise. So any workaround I can find, I'm excited about
When you
it.
went to your Safari and added the link, did you say add to home screen?
Oh,
Yeah.
That's the step.
Okay. So you can access it if you want to just go type in console.command, into your Safari browser every time to access it. You could. I would suggest putting it on your home screen so you can quickly get to it. I'm going to show you the exact same thing, but from desktop version of command, okay? If this will play, let's see. There we go. So it looks exactly the same. You're going into your contacts, you're searching for the contact that you want to add the event for,
Maybe if I get out of there, go back, it'll let me.
and then the blue plus sign in the corner there, and then just add to calendar. It's the very first one. You can also add notes to their file, that type of thing if you'd like to. And it automatically, again, just pulls it up, so. And you can add other people, so if you want to send a calendar invite to someone else for the same event at the same time, you can just type in their email address under add, or I think it's add. Invitees is maybe what it is, but that's literally how quick it is. It takes, I think this video on my phone when I did it was, it took 40 seconds to add a calendar event, so. And to send that client confirmation. And you can really get detailed with these. You can put the address of the meeting. You can, that way when they pull it up in their email or on their calendar, it links to Google Maps. So, I mean, they're getting driving directions and everything at the same time, so. So yeah, any questions?
Every time I hit that command console, it just automatically goes to my KW app. It doesn't even
Really?
go up, so I don't know what to do.
Okay, I think that's probably an Android issue. I can take a look at it for you.
Because here I said, okay, I'm gonna get out of everything. I'm gonna go to Google. I typed in the console.command.kw, search. Got this, hit command. It goes with cover way map.
So it just looks kind of different anyway. But so
And every time I try to share this with somebody,
I have to do the latest.
I actually have on my calendar today, I'm gonna do some videos because that is not working properly. I spent 2 hours this weekend fighting with it, and that I can't get it to, I can't even figure out how to get my app URL, so.
I want to share this, no, I want to share this with somebody,
Should be all right.
but I can't get to my contacts.
My suggestion would be not to share it until we figure out why it's not working properly.
Yeah, 'cause I shared this and it goes, the realtor app works better than your cover way apps.
And that's not what we wanna hear. So that's why I'm trying to figure
Okay.
out how many workarounds we can find to make this work for you guys right now. Because unfortunately, the Kelly app it's just not there yet. I think it will be eventually. I think it's gonna be awesome, but right now I find that you know what might work, John? See if you can't download a different browser, because you're using a Google browser. So try
Safari.
Yeah, I think Safari is probably specific to iPhone, but if you can find another browser, that might work.
Okay. Because I just had somebody call, wanted me to do his work, and I was gonna send the app, I thought, well, shit, it doesn't even work for me, why would it work for him?
Yeah. No, we're still working on it. We're definitely working on it. There was a tech call this morning.
Excuse the 4-letter word, I'm still on the phone.
Oh, I didn't even.
Don't worry about it.
Oh. Yeah.
So mine doesn't allow me to save it to my, there's no.
Oh, to your home screen?
You have an iPhone, don't you? Yeah.
Add to home screen.
Where did you find
You had to scroll
You gotta
down.
scroll.
I've never seen it before ever. So you have to scroll all the way down.
Oh, how did we not find that? I thought weird, okay.
So
That wasn't
I'm
just
going to, we recorded this, it was live on Facebook, I'm gonna put it on our YouTube channel. I'm also going to give you guys access to the entire PowerPoint. It has all the videos on there as well, so you can go through, rewatch it. It has 3 pages of typed notes for you guys also, so hopefully it'll be easy for you to kind of go back to this and you know, dig a little deeper if you need to. But like I mentioned at the start of the training, I think we're probably gonna do deep dives into specific things within Google. So my thought is probably doing those every other week, and we can kind of toggle 1 week Google training, the next week it'll be some sort of 66-day challenge training. We're rebranding that because nobody's showing up. So instead of going through them video by video, I'm gonna go through, because I need to watch them all again anyway, so I'm gonna go through and find ones that are more specific to your guys' needs right now. So if you have specific needs, like I think the app is a huge one right now. So I
You
think
gotta get ahead of it, because we
Yeah.
got guys contacting us, a Realtor and Zillow, and
Yeah.
you look on their sites and go, well, this is outdated, but then you look at ours, well, it still says it's listed and it's sold, you know, and you think, well,
the listings within Command are in labs right now, which means they're trying to work out the kinks, so it is not reliable. We did a full audit the week before Laura came, so week before last, every single listing in this entire office, and we found numerous problems. So we had to create videos for each of those issues that we found, send it to tech so they could address it. They fixed those, but now we're finding different issues. So those issues are fixed, but we're also finding smaller stuff that needs to be fixed. So we're doing weekly audits of the listings. We're really trying to get them where they need to be, but they're still in labs. So it might be a few weeks out.
I think the first 66-day challenge should be the agent site.
Yes.
Because when she said that, I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
And you have to have your agent site set up before you do the app.
Right.
Otherwise,
Right.
the app is just very generic and it's not branded to you and all those kind of things. So,
Yeah.
and I know that there was a lot of people at that training lost when it
Okay.
came to
No, that's
that
good.
agent site and everything.
And I
a lot of
know
it, but-
that within the agent sites, an issue that they're having right now is a picture's not uploading properly. So you're not able to put your headshot on there. Different things like that. And it's little issues, but each one of these little issues, if you guys come across them, take a screenshot and email it to me. And you don't even have to schedule that email. You can send it at 3 a.m. It's okay. Just send it to me so that I can make sure that the tech team gets it so that they can address it. Because we're not going to get it fixed quickly if we're not all using it and reporting the issues that we're finding. And I know there are a lot of issues. But just keep letting us know, because the tech team is working really quick to fix them. We reported something like 40 issues, I think, on Friday, and by the time Laura showed up on Tuesday, they were fixed.
Great.
So yeah, they're really working hard to get this going for us. We just need to be a little patient and report the problems where we find them. So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you.